TC, Spiritual Shepherd. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are getting into get shifts done. Get shift done. What does that mean? It means get shit done. You know, like you guys have heard like go to the fucking gym. You guys have heard get it fucking done. You guys have heard all this type of stuff. So this is literally what I post every single AM at 3:30 when I go to the gym every single day. Don't miss a day. Don't miss a day ever. Why would you miss a day? Okay? So the whole thing about this is go to the fucking gym. So it's just like that. Get shifts done. This is into spirituality. This is the spirituality quantum reality shifting. Okay, so a lot of people have heard about like the shift experience or shifting tips, or how can I be in the reality that I really wanted to be in? How can I be in my desired reality rather than desiring a reality? So that's the whole cultivation is, well, first of all, you have to just use the desire as an external means of I like this thing, but don't look at it as a place of I don't have it. That's the first lesson. Okay. So the thing is that's just the thing, like that one thing in your life. I mean, even relationships, but you could just always take this, like this one person in your life, or like this one job in your life, or this one thing in your life, or this one experience in your life, or this traveling thing. You're like, you know what? I want to do that. All right. So you have this like desire in your mind. You're like, I want, okay. So from that, are you really like separate of that person? Are you really separate of that thing? Are you really separate of that experience? Only if you believe or deem yourself not worthy or accepting of that experience. This transitional period is coming from the internal state of belief system, the internal shift, the consciousness. Okay. And so look, nobody can tell you how to feel. As much as people like to tell you how you feel, they cannot tell you how you're feeling. Okay, so that is the whole thing about, okay, so everything is really an internal I experience. Okay, meaning like I could be like, you feel like shit. Does that mean that you actually feel like shit? Or is that just my perception of how you feel? See, and that's where you enter into the communication. Every time you're talking to somebody, you just say, from my perspective, from my belief system, from my perspective, from my point of view, that type of thing. Okay. So get shifts done. This is ultimately, look, you have this version of yourself. Okay. This is who you are. This is everything you've accumulated. We are the accumulation of all the thoughts, the emotions, the programming, the actions, the habitual construction that we've built over a long period of time. This is necessarily what you say you want to be and all this type of stuff. And you might think that those things are separate. Okay, until you start to think bigger and you see that they're a part of the same whole. So the whole thing about this, the whole thing about this is this, that you are thinking that you're this person. You're identified to it. You are attached to it. You are interconnected to it. Am I saying change your identity? Yes, it's called identity shifting. It's called the identity shift experience. Okay, which means that you must experience it, not say I want to desire. That's also the thing. To desire something implies that you lack it. To want something implies that you don't have it. So really so I just gave you the answer. If you understand what implying is, or implication, which is what society, the law of assumption, what the world, what the human experience is. That's exactly what it is what you imply, what you expect, and what you assume. Okay? You will never go off of your base of assumption. So this means that like if you assume, and there's so many realities that are connected into this, but it's when you start to assume that you already have, that you start to embody the feelings and the emotions of having it, and then therefore being on the vibrational resonance to attract having it. Because you're on the vibrational resonance of attracting it, on the vibrational frequency resonance, the wavelength, okay, of frequency to be able to attract it. But here's the thing. If you're on the wanting aspect of it, if you're like, I want, what is that attracting? I lack. See what I'm saying? And so then therefore when you're like, I want that car, I want that relationship, I want that stuff, I want that money, I want this. When you're in that like, I want, you're just telling yourself, I don't fucking have this, I don't have this. That's what you're really saying. So what you really need to say, and it takes time because You have to look at subconscious programming. So don't think today, because you're like, I have this, that it's just going to magically happen today. Okay. You might have lessons that you learned. You might have experiences that will show you and give you opportunities. Okay. The universe will give you an opportune moment to be like, okay, well, you say that you have an abundant mindset. So what happens when I give you an experience, an opportunity to be impoverished? Are you going to choose that perspective? Are you going to choose that mindset? Are you going to choose that emotionality? Are you going to choose that thinking process? Are you going to choose that physicality? Or are you going to tap into your true abundance like you say that you have it? See, and a lot of people too, you have to see that people have noting. People have not having. I know it's weird. When you start to look at everything as like assumptions and what people are implying and insinuating in their lives, like the way they talk, they are telling you who they are. Specifically, when you learn this in in psychology, when people are like, I could just tell somebody's impoverished mindset, like right off the bat, because of the assumptions. And I could tell someone who's going to come out of an impoverished mindset and rise into abundance quickly. I might even say, therefore, because the whole thing about this is the shift experience within them, the consciousness of who they truly believe that they are. They might be in this type of job or this 9-to-5 or this type of, reality right now, but their mindset is here. And this mindset is revolutionary. Okay. And it's a completely different experience. So what do I mean? People have not having, or people have notting. Okay. So meaning like people, what they have is have notting or not having. That's what I'm saying. What they have is not having. So they first have to change that reverse psychologically. Okay, this is very difficult for some people to comprehend if they don't understand psychology or sociology, but it's very important and very imperative. Okay, so if they have not having, they first have to start having. Okay. Or they have to have notting. Not having. Okay? That's the first thing that they have to not have, is not having. Then eventually they have to start having. And then they will what? Start to embody on the frequency of having, which is important to focus on the good, to focus on the lessons, to focus on the learning, to focus on the leadership, to focus on the mastery. Okay, that is exactly what it is. To focus on getting the shifts done, not focusing on the past, not focusing on things that had happened, not focusing on any of that. Realizing that stuff is all lessons, a staircase to leading you to a higher vibrational you, a higher resonant you. And that is the only thing. When I stop, I don't even know what the past is, because I literally just shed it. I shed it. And the whole thing about this is that now I'm so focused on this that I could foresee the future. I could see it. I could see it within my mind's eye, because I'm focused so intently on the now, and also the assumption within the now. 222. It's 222 where I'm at. The assumption of the now every single moment. I already know what's going to happen. So when I see it happen, I'm like, oh, I've already seen this within my mind's eye. I've already seen this within the state akin to sleep. I've already seen this in the action within my imagination, within the visualization aspect of me feeling it and thinking it. Okay, within a month of me feeling security, feeling surprise, feeling relief, positive surprise. Surprise is a neutral. So when you have a positive surprise, that is a very great thing. When you have positive relief, when you have joy, peace, bliss, serenity, patience, gratitude, these types of attitudes, these types of emotions, these types of emissions, it is emitting from your auric field, because you have an aura, you have a rainbow body, okay, and your rainbow auric body, this is proof, this is literally, it's bioluminescence, bio meaning body, lumen meaning light, essence meaning your essence, your essential energy, your chi. So your bioluminescence, how are you channeling your light? How are you channeling your light? Are you channeling your light into darkness, and then you wonder why darkness is in your life? Interesting. Because if light is life, and you're channeling your light into your darkness, then why wouldn't darkness be your life? Based on the transitive property of mathematics, sacred geometrical mathematics. So think about it this way, though. If you are to always focus on the light, always focus on the good, even if some bullshit's happening, if you're to be the harmony within the chaos, if you're to be the peaceful amongst the craziness around you, then clearly no matter what, those beings are going to constantly gravitate and magnetize towards you because you are the electrical being. Electromagnetism, the heart. So if you're emitting on a higher frequency of the heart, 693, rather than on the lower aspect, the frequency of the heart, which is still the heart, which is 639, I know, very close, but they're very different. What is the middle aspect of it? The 0-point energy field, which would be 6 times 3, okay? So I'm not even going to say that, but ultimately it's also 6, 1, and then you could fill another one in there. But the whole thing about that is you have to really start to understand that 639 and 693, yes, they might be the same types of frequencies, but they're significantly different frequencies. Because when you cross that 6 times 3, the 6 by 3 threshold, you are actually entering into a new state of being. You're entering into a higher frequency. You are going to start to emit in the Vishuddha. You're going to start to emit in the mind's eye. You're going to start to emit in the crown chakra. When you start to emit in these frequencies, it's 741, 852, 963 hertz. Okay, so you're going to start to emit on those higher frequencies where you are a high electrical being, a high vibrational being, an ultraviolet being, which means that you, therefore, things come to you. Okay, and when you are in the assumptive, when you're in the assumption, the law of assumption, when you are fulfilling your self-concept, when your self-concept, when you say, and the whole thing is don't do materialistic ass self-concept. I'm not saying like it's not good. I do it too. But I'm saying like go beyond. Because you have the power. The law of assumption is the power. So if you are starting to get into the self-concept of like true positivity, you are going to exponentially grow beyond your peers. Because you're using that power for good. Everybody might have the power, okay? But it's how people use the power and why people use the power. It's the what? The contemplation of the power, okay? Just because everybody's given a human life doesn't mean that they're all going to operate on the same type of wavelength of the human life, okay? And that's the importance of why you know what you're supposed to do, how you know you're supposed to do it, okay? And so now as I kind of conclude this, the shifts is focusing not on this, but focusing on this. Your focus determines your reality. Qui-Gon Jinn. As you focus on the shifts rather than the shit, then you actually start to shift quicker and you get shifts done rather than always wanting to get shit done. Okay? That's the whole perspective. That is the whole perspective. So this is a quantum way of belief. Okay? So say you're in the infrared. If you're in this vibration, you're like, I believe what other people tell me, and I believe I have to go to other people for validation, and I have to go outside of myself, and I always am wondering what other people think of me, and I always need materialism, and I know I want a body, and I want this car, and I want this type of money, and I want this type of intelligence, and all this type of shit. And then if you get into this aspect and you say, I already embody it, even if you don't, it's also coming from the place of contentment and gratitude, which means like my lifestyle, my energy is richer than Jeff Bezos. Does not matter. That I remember hearing that from another creator. I was like, facts, bro. That's literally facts. My energy on a moment by moment basis is richer than Jeff Bezos is in totality by a moment by moment basis because of the embodiment of my chi. Okay, where you start to emit as a martial artist, you start to emit very zen. You start to emit very Kaizen. You change for the better 1% every single day. You don't even need to necessarily be in the 1%. You're the 1% of the 1%. Because the 1%, the 1% is about materialism. It's just in the high 1% of materialism. But the 1% of the 1% is the spirituality aspect plus the 1% of materialism. And that's the cultivation. And some people do reverse pyramid training, which is somebody like me, where I did all of the spirituality shifts. Like in 2020, I went into a dark room for 12 days. I went into a dark room for 5 days. I went into a dark room for 8 days. And I did that 4 times, okay? And until I saw something, until I discovered something. Okay, that's why I have this tattoo. Okay? And that whole thing about this is like ultimately the cultivation of this is the transformation, the transmutation of your negative into your positive, your past into your beautiful present, okay? And realizing your past and your future don't exist. When the past was happening, it was actually the now because you were in the now when it was happening. The now is happening because it's in the now, so the now is the happening. And then the future, when you think it's going to come, it's actually just going to be right now in the future now that you think is going to be the future. But it's all happening right now, so be it now. And then once I discovered a lot of this stuff, I just started being the best version of myself now. I stopped thinking about like what's going to happen, what's going to come, what has happened. I stopped thinking about all that type of vibrational stuff. Okay, so ultimately, guys, to conclude this, getting shift done, the shift experience is shifting. You are starting to assume the feelings of the wish fulfilled. You are starting to assume the thoughts, assume the habitual actions, assume the actions, assume the doing, assuming the being and the having, which is behavior. Behavior. You can see the being and the having is behavior. So how is your behavior towards what you want? Or towards your desired reality. If you are like, I lack this desired reality, then of course you're going to still want the desired reality. But if you say, I have this desired reality, it doesn't mean that it has to be physically actually here. It means that I really am it. It's not what you do. Okay. It's not what you do. It's not how. It's who. It's who you are. It's who you are emitting at. It's how you are being. It is not how can I get it or how can I do something. It's not about doing. It's about being. You're not a human doing, you're a human being. Hue as in light, man as in living. Okay, that's really what man means, is living. Okay, womb means womb living. Okay, just so you guys understand. And then being means that you are a being. Okay, you're not a doing, you're not even a having. You don't even need to have because you're a beingness, which means that your beingness is on a specific vibrational wavelength. Okay, your thoughts, your mind is not your thoughts. You are a receiver and you're picking up on the same vibrational wavelength of which you are emitting based in the bioluminescent field. So when you raise your vibration, then you start to attract better thoughts, better experiences, better emotions, better experiences. That's really it, guys. This is the shift. The shift work, the shift quantum reality. This is getting shifts done, quantum leaping parallel realities where you start to live in the end of the wish fulfilled. You start to live in the assumption of, I already have this. I'm already intelligent. I'm already enlightened. I'm already a master. I'm already the alchemist. I'm already, a monk. I'm already superior. I'm already in the proper 9-figure mindset. I'm already positive. I already have the business. I'm already minding my own business. I'm already free. I'm already time free. I'm already rich. I'm already abundant. I'm already wealthy. I'm already healthy. I'm already ripped. I already have the great relationship. And you start to, lastly, start to embody the opposite version of you inside of you and have a relationship with that version of you. So the reason why I have a beautiful physical girlfriend, she's not even just physically, beautiful, not even just physically beautiful. Okay? But that's because I have the internal experience of my own divine feminine within me, and I respect and give reverence to that divine feminine within me and respect that energy. And then therefore I am given that opportune moment. And I don't let opportunities pass me up. I take advantage of those opportunities. Peace, much love, namaste. Talk to you guys in the next video. See you guys soon. Everything is in the description. Peace.